Hi, today we've invited Janet Hills, and she's here with us to talk about whether a green card from the United States is expired or not. Okay? Questions from you first. Okay?
Okay, I guess in regards to this, the questions that I had was, I mean, you can read on the back wall about how to get the green card, what happens if you renounce the green card. If you renounce the green card, can you come back to America afterwards?
Okay, it all determines on whether you have a relationship in the United States or not. Okay, for example, if you have family sponsored, like immediate relative, okay, for example, if you have opposite sex spouse, right? If you have minor children and parents of U.S. citizens. So in my case, no matter how many years I'm abroad, I have the marriage, right? So the U.S. does not have the right to say, okay, you don't have the green card, or your green card expires. Okay? So, and the U.S. citizens must be at least 21 years of age in order to sponsor his or her parents. So one of our highest leaders in Taiwan said the green card expired. In that case, what do you think? It's not, right? According to this, it's basically a lie, right? Okay. So, do you have more questions?
I guess I'm just curious if you, I guess if you, like, let's say, left the country and you had started a business and the business failed and you left the country. And then later on, maybe you, like, met a woman from America. You can't actually get legally married there. Is that right?
Well, if you left the country, then the woman has to file divorce. And if the husband doesn't respond in 6 months, then basically you're divorced. And then you don't have the status to go back. You don't have green card, right? But if you have two citizens of the United States, there are, you know, they have citizenship. So how can the parents say, my green card expires?
Right. Yeah.
So that's the controversial part here. Yeah. Okay, have you seen the green card?
Because I'm from Canada, no, I've never actually seen.
Okay, so this is the green card, and it's got to let's say, okay, it says card expires here. It has an expiration date, but it doesn't mean you cannot return and have it again. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's all determined on the status.
Okay, right. So what did this specific person say? They said that their green card had expired, but they actually have children who are over the age of 21?
You say why?
Yes.
Because they want to, say, run for, say, presidency or legislation, like legislators or parliamentarians in, say, England, for example. So they want to say, okay, I don't have a green card, because then there is a conflict of interests. Say if you have a green card and then you run the country and then you become a dictator, right? And then you can easily get out. So that's why this becomes controversial in many countries. Yeah.
I guess we have something similar in Canada. We had like basically what's going on in Taiwan right now, like the political race. And one of the leaders who at first everybody was like, wow, he's really great, human rights record, and, you know, he knows a lot of things. But then they found out that he actually lives in England and that he only comes back to Canada to run for the prime minister position. So then nobody wanted to elect him because of that. So do you think that if this person, you know, said that his green card wasn't expired, that it would I guess, be negatively affecting his.
Seriously, because this became controversial, and he's basically said it expired, and it became sort of a myth for everybody. And that's why I think as a citizen of Taiwan, I have the right to defend for the country. You understand? I think I have the responsibility at least to say what's the truth. Okay? And here it says United States lawful permanent residency refers to a person's immigration status. The person is authorized to live and work in the United States of America on a permanent basis, right? Okay. So you can basically enunciate it, give up. Is that how you say it?
Yes.
Okay. If you file something called loss by renunciation, you have to do this, and to fill out a form called 1551 as a condition to issuance of either an immigrant or a non-immigrant visa. So, is this getting a little confusing?
I can understand. Basically, if you want to not live in the United States anymore, then you need to apply. You need to have a form that says that you will not keep your green card, and then you give up that right to have the green card, basically.
Right. And also, you see, the Immigration and Naturalization Service reserves the right to determine loss or retention of legal resident status. And consular officers are not authorized to make such determinations. However, in the case of which the applicant has abandoned residence and voluntarily surrenders the form, I-551, it's called Permanent Resident Card, consular officers should request that the applicant complete the form I-407, abandonment of lawful permanent resident status, and accept the alien's permanent resident card and return the card to the INS,
Right.
which is the Immigration and Naturalization Service. So, and notice this, okay, the B part. Consular officers should keep in mind it is not the state renouncing residence, but the absence of a fixed intent to return that results in the loss of LPR status.
Right, exactly. So if you don't know when you'll return, then that's when you lose it. If you know, oh, okay, I'm going to return next year, then you can still keep it. But if you, don't know when you'll come back, then you could lose it.
Right, there is a Chinese here. I want just to show people that reads Chinese. It's whether you really want to go back or not. If you have the willingness to go back, right? If you don't have a very legitimate excuse and say, I never want to go back to that country, and you have 2 kids that are citizens, right? And then why would you be announcing, right? Renouncing it, right? So this whole thing becomes apparent to you? Or?
Right, I understand what you're saying. So this person who said that he can't get the citizenship, or not the citizenship, sorry, the green card, basically he can get it, and unless he was crazy, there would be no reason for them not to give it to him. Right, I'm understanding.
It's always available to you, so you cannot say, oh, expired, it's not valid, and I will never go back, unless you fill out a form saying you give up. But it's not your decision to give up that it makes it invalid. It's the U.S. Embassy. It's the Immigration and Naturalization Service. Right? It's decision. It's not the person's decision.
Right.
So this is according to the American law. Yeah. So.
for like such a person who was so high ranking in, you know, Taiwanese society, there would be no reason for the United States to want to issue that. None whatsoever. So do you think that the feelings would be similar in Taiwan as they are in Canada about, you know, this specific person?
Well, absolutely. It's all about conflict of interests. Say, if I run the country, if I were the president of Taiwan, right? If I'm completely loyal to this country, right? I would say I only have residency and also citizenship here. That means I'm 100% faithful to every citizen of this country. But if you're always thinking, okay, I have a, you know, second choice, then would you be completely dedicated to the responsibilities here? And I think that's the main debate here.
Which do you think would be worse? Whether this person knew about it and lied about it, or whether they actually didn't know, they didn't understand the legalities of it, and they're the person that, you know, could possibly have some sway in Taiwan, but they might not understand the legalities of the U.S., you know, green card system.
I would say ignorance is still a crime. You know, you can pretend to say, oh, I don't know, you know. But if you say you're somebody so high-ranking, you know, you can't say you don't know. Yeah. There's no excuse, you know. So I'm pretty sure someone so high-ranking should have the responsibility to know his status in regards to green card.
Yeah. I mean, that's correct, because there's tons of foreigners coming to Taiwan every day, and we have to know a lot of things about Taiwanese government, the way that the ARC system works here, how to apply for that. I just, you know, spent a lot of time going to a bunch of different offices trying to find the things that I need, and yet this person either doesn't know the policies or the policies.
Right, and I mean, this becomes very confusing, and I'm only as a citizen here interpreting the laws here, but it's very apparent that you understand the English, and I did. So that's all we can say, right? So, goodbye.